Our colleague that raised a matter about state capture, that he asked somebody about state capture. I don't want to repeat what I was saying at great length. I'm talking about not theoretical things, about what's happening to this country, such that you have all of the negatives that you and I can see in the country. So I don't know about the definitions. I say, for instance, you have a concrete example of an attempt to destroy the South African Revenue Service, which means you take away 85% of the revenues of the state. What happens? You can't pay civil servants, you can't pay soldiers, you can't pay supply clinics. The state collapses. Is it called state capture or what? I don't know. But what I know is counter-revolutionary. And that's what is critically important, is that we need to defeat this counter-revolution whose purpose has been to defeat the democratic revolution. Whether it's called state capture or not, I don't know. But what I'm saying is that it is counter-revolution to defeat the democratic revolution. And that's the practical reality we're living with. And I think that becomes the practical task of all of us who are patriots, to say we can't allow this democratic thing which so many people died for, we can't allow it to perish because of these negatives that are brought by the counter-revolution. So we've got a combined task to make sure we defeat that counter-revolution. Whether it's called state capture or not, I don't know. But what I know is that it's counter-revolution, which has to be defeated. Sure, the thing about kill the Boer, you know, this chant, this chant was, I think, made most popular by Peter Mokaba. It was there in the movement, but it was not a matter of great. You would hardly ever hear of it. It's Peter who likes this thing. And knowing very well, Peter, that there was no ANC policy to kill Boers. There was no ANC policy which was anti-white, and therefore let's kill the Boers. You could understand why Peter would say, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, then. When I saw Julius the other day on TV saying this thing, I was asking myself why. Why is it necessary? Because it's got a historical context to it. There's a song which the ANC people sing at funerals. Hamba kahle mkhonto. It's got an end part to that song. Thina bantu bomkhonto sawabulala amapolo. We keep saying to the communists, but that had a context. You can't be singing it now. Thina bantu bomkhonto sawabulala. There's no Mkondo person who's going to kill any Boer. Yeah. But why do we sing it? So I'm saying I listened to Julius saying this, and I was saying to myself, why does he say it? Because the slogans have a context. And the slogans which were people were shouting slogans in 1952. By 1962, they become irrelevant. But they are part of our history. So you are quite right. I mean, we have said this thing, the use of slogans like this, certainly in terms of African culture, it does not mean when Peter Mokaba says, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, that the people must leave the FNB stadium and go and hunt for farmers. It doesn't mean that at all. It's a mobilization thing. But I'm saying, even in that context, surely there's a context to it. If I started my speech here, when Tsepo said I must come and answer, and I came here and said, kill the Boer, you would say, what's wrong with him? Because it's a chant. It's probably completely irrelevant to use it here. The part of what we've been arguing with regard to the Great Lakes, not the Great Lakes, to the Eastern Congo, is that there's a problem in the Congo which has not been resolved up to today. I'm talking about the DRC. We're back to that NDR I was talking about. As you know, part of the population in the Eastern Congo is Rwanda-speaking, the Banyamulenge. Part of the problem in the Congo is that from the days of Mobutu, they refused to recognize that the Banyamulenge are Congolese. They might be Rwanda-speaking, but these are Congolese. And it's the responsibility of any government in Kinshasa to look after this section of the Congolese population like any other. But you remember what happened during the Mobutu years. Mobutu took the position that these are foreigners. It's like the South Africans here saying, I mean, they're Tswana-speaking people here in the Northwest. And suddenly, the rest of the country says, those are not South Africans, they must go to Botswana. So what happened in the Congo case, that's how you had the Mai Mai emerge in the Eastern Congo. The Mai Mai were specifically targeting the Banyamulenge to drive them out of the Congo into Rwanda. But I'm saying it's the responsibility of the central government in the Congo to look after this population, which is Congolese. It's not Rwandan. It's Congolese. It's Rwandan speaking. That's the first problem. The second problem is that the administrative footprint of the government in Kinshasa does not reach the East. So you find a part is part of the country which has got a very light experience of being governed by the government in Kinshasa. The country is very big. So you have a weak government, weak imprint of the government on the East. It means other forces emerge and take over. You see the M23. You can't avoid the phenomenon of the M23 as the government of the Congo unless you say, we, the Congolese government, will protect the Banyamulenge because these are Congolese. If you don't say that, allowing other people to do as they wish towards the Banyamulenge, then M23 will continue to exist. Because they will get arms to defend themselves. So it's the same, is that problem in the Kivus of that weak imprint of the government, and then goes up to the Ituri and then those areas. We discussed that with President Joseph Kabila. It's your responsibility to look after these people in the East. You remember during the negotiations here at Sun City, you had 3 armed groups. You had the government armed group, you had Bemba's armed group, you had the third one, led by an advocate, which was basically representing the Banyamulenge. It was agreed, it was part of the negotiators, it's Congolese and no problem. Even after the conclusion of the negotiations, there were discussions about how to integrate them properly into the government of the Congo and all of that. But that process collapsed somewhere. So I'm saying, my brother, what we need to do with regard to the Eastern Congo is President Tshisekedi should say to everybody, I'm president of the Congo, and I'm president of all of the people of the Congo, including the Banyamulenge. And then they need to do whatever they can, the government in Kinshasa, really to improve its capacity to govern the eastern part of the Congo. The other thing we then did, my brother, in that context, we brought together President Kabila and President Paul Kagame to say, you need to govern your relationship in a particular way. Because part of the problem, as you know, is that the people who had committed genocide in Rwanda ran over to the Eastern Congo. And so the people in Rwanda are saying, those ones you are accommodating there, they are the ones who want to kill us. They've killed us already, they want to kill us some more. So how do you govern this relationship? So we negotiated an agreement, or let me say they negotiated an agreement about how to interact with each other. Because you can't disentangle them, the Rwanda and the DRC. Agreed, and the thing was signed. I think it collapsed along the way. But you need that, you need those processes. As I was saying, the government of the Congo to take charge of the Eastern Congo, all of it. Then we need an agreement between the DRC, Uganda, and Rwanda in particular, to govern the relations among those three. I think that's what you need in order to resolve the problem in the Eastern Congo. And most certainly we'll be very happy to meet our sister people from the DRC. Let's discuss all of these things.